What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another Comically Boston Monday morning podcast, where every Monday we discuss the last week in nerddom, as we are back for another weekly nerdy news here. And not too crazy a week for like miscellaneous stuff, but boy oh boy is there a lot of television coming out this week, and we'll talk about all the shows that are dropping new episodes this week at the end of today's episode. But there's some brief Star Wars stuff, and then we got some Marvel topics to talk about in the main subjects of today. But just to jump right on into it, things I saw this morning, there seems to be a Hulk Hogan sports series, which has to be some type of documentary that says Hulk Hogan, Real American, and this is coming to Netflix April 22nd. And, you know, I'm not the biggest Hulkamaniac or whatever, but, you know, I like wrestling, and apparently in this advertising for this, they're advertising his last interview ever is going to be in this, which is either going to be, like, interesting, like, oh, yeah, wow, I didn't think he'd turn that corner at such an old age right before death, or maybe, like, you know, the interviews about him dying, I don't know, you know, or maybe he didn't think he was dying and he died suddenly, I don't know. I don't know the real story behind his death. I just know that he died last year at some point, or maybe early this year, I don't know. And I know he died recently, but either way, shout out Hulk Hogan. And if you guys are big Hulk Hogan fans and you want to check out his interview, go check that out on Netflix, April 22nd. But something coming to Netflix that I am more excited for, and that is the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender, which isn't the best. Like, it's not better than the cartoon, you know, Nickelodeon Avatar: The Last Airbender, which they are bringing that show back with those creatives as well. So, you know, if you want to stick to the animation, you can. I think that's going to be called Aang the Last Avatar or something like that. And, you know, they're bringing back the original crew from that series. But in live action here, we have our first look at Toph from the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 2, that should be coming, I think, later this month, or maybe early in May, maybe. But either way, Season 1 was pretty good, but if you guys know from the show, it doesn't get into much in Season 1, you know, it sticks to mostly water. So in Book 2, we start introducing earthbending, and he has his earthbending trainer teacher named Toph. And Toph is blind and badass, and I loved Toph from the show. And it looks like they're being pretty faithful to her character design when it comes to the character in the show. So I'm here for it, you know, I really am, and I'm going to definitely be checking out The Last Airbender Season 2 when that drops. But if you missed last week on some of the DC side of things, Supergirl had her trailer, like her official trailer drop, and the poster looks really good with Millie Alcock on the cover here, Kara Zor-El, I think is her last name. Either way, Supergirl, DC Studios, this is coming June 26th of 2026, and I can't wait for this. Coming off of James Gunn's Superman, you know, having another DC universe that's building out here with Superman, and then now Supergirl, and then in August we'll get Lanterns, and then I think around Halloween time we're getting Clayface. That sounds like a pretty epic year for DC for me. You know, I'm still waiting on some Peacemaker updates and maybe some Man of Tomorrow updates as well, but I think Man of Tomorrow starts filming next month, and they're currently doing like rehearsals and stuff like that, but James Gunn's gonna get right back after it, you know. Movie came out last year, and now he's got a whole nother one in the works. Love to see it. But Supergirl also released some entertainment exclusive images, and you can see Krypto sitting on her lap here while she's flying her ship. You can see Jason Momoa's Lobo and his like necklace thing around his neck, which apparently houses something really cool that we might see or might not. But he also has like chains around his wrist and big spikes, and he's riding his space hog, and he seems to be having a blast, which seems very much like Jason Momoa, but I'm also glad that it looks like he had a good time filming this movie, which how could he not? He's getting to play his favorite character ever, Lobo. But you can also see David Krumholtz and Baby Krypto and Millie Alcock there as they're walking in like maybe a funeral procession. And then the last image here, you have the villain Krem with his bedazzled face and his scarred up face, and yeah, he's a creepy character, but he seems like he's going to be a pretty decent big bad for that movie. And if you guys didn't see the trailer, I highly recommend going and checking it out, because that trailer has some parts in it that look pretty wild for a poor crypto there. And, you know, maybe this movie's gonna be dark, but if they hurt that dog, I'll hurt them. But moving on into some Star Wars stuff. Star Wars MAUL Shadow Lord is now releasing today, April 6th, and I believe 2 episodes. I thought maybe they were going to binge drop them all at once, but 2 episodes. So I think episodes 1 and 2 are currently streaming now, and then the rest will air, you know, coming weeks or whatnot. But, you know, I'm curious on how long the show's going to be. Is it going to be 6 episodes? Is it going to be 8? Is it going to release in 2-episode chunks? You know, I wonder how they'll do it, but I guess we'll find out in the weeks coming. But Darth Maul, you know, and he's going to be voiced by Sam Witwer in this show, and, you know, getting his own show to have a Sith be the star of the show. I don't think we've ever had that, have we? You know, where, like, yeah, he's going to be doing some bad things, but we're going to understand why he's doing those bad things, you know what I mean? And I was debating on whether or not I would cover this for the channel, and if that's something you guys would want to see, please drop that down in the comment section below. But Rotten Tomatoes' debut score for this new series is at currently 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it doesn't say how many critics that is, so I'm sure the score will fluctuate. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be pretty badass. You know, I'm pretty here for this show, and it seems like it's going to be dropping on Monday. So maybe tomorrow there will be breakdowns out on the channel for episode 1 and 2 for MAUL Shadow Lord, but then also tomorrow Daredevil Born Again season 2 episode 4 drops, but that's not till 9 p.m. So Wednesday there will be a breakdown out for Daredevil Born Again, and then, you know, that leaves Thursday, Friday, so maybe I'll do a couple more movie reviews, maybe I'll get another Bond movie review in, or maybe I'll do some other show breakdowns, and there will be some other stuff to talk about this week, but we'll talk more about that at the end of today's episode. But also, we're now in April, so we're only about a month or so out for Mandalorian and Grogu, and there's a couple of images here from that movie and from trailers that we have seen shots of, but I just liked these stills of Grogu riding on Mando's back, and, you know, just reminds me a little bit of like Luke and Yoda, but Mando's Beskar, also just such a great design for a suit. And then you can see Mando with Grogu still on his back, and he's got like these bounty hunting droids or whatever on either side of him as he's heading into like this dark, gloomy planet. I'm so here for the Mandalorian and Grogu. I know some people aren't, but like I loved the show, and me and my roommate are almost caught up for him to Daredevil Born Again Season 2, where we're currently at, and we've been trucking through the Daredevil series. So we're almost caught up fully on Daredevil, so now he'll be watching that week to week. But I think we'll now transition into Star Wars, and we'll start watching some of the Mandalorian, get all caught up on that. So by May, we'll be nice and ready to go for his movie, you know what I mean? But also, it feels like that time of year. I don't know, I haven't done a big Star Wars rewatch in a long time, so it feels like the moment in time, you know what I mean? It feels like coming into May 4th, May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars season, baby. Let's get it. But moving into some Marvel news, and yesterday was Easter. Happy Easter to all that celebrated yesterday, and any of the kiddos out there that had Easter egg hunts and whatnot. Meanwhile, I was hunting for Easter eggs on Instagram, and Robert Downey Jr., of course, Iron Man, but also Dr. Doom in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday. He has been releasing these like cryptic holiday posts for like the last year or so, and he did like Christmas, he did Valentine's Day, he even did one for St. Patty's Day with a little Dr. Doom holding like a shamrock. But this one I thought was interesting because Easter eggs are a thing that all Marvel movies have, but Easter eggs are also a thing on Easter. So we have a picture here of Dr. Doom and those green eyes peering out of the back of his mask there, and he's got his paintbrush and this little basket here with all these eggs that he just painted. And you know, just starting on like the far left, he's got like a bluish X-Man symbol, and then he's got a red egg with like gray spiders walking on it. Interesting. And then underneath that one, you got like a maybe Namor trident or something like that. I'm not sure whose symbol that is, but then you got Black Panther, the Avengers logo with the asterisk, so that's the new Avengers. Bottom center, you have Shang-Chi's logo. I think that's like the Legend of the Ten Rings logo or whatnot. Then above that, you have a yellow and red X-Man logo. And then top center, you have a Captain America shield, of course. And then you have Thor's Mjolnir with that painted lightning bolt and Mjolnir there. And then you have a Fantastic Four logo with a cancel sign through it, because obviously Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four have much beef. And then just behind the Fantastic Four, you have a red Spider-Man logo, and then above that you have Loki's with his horns. So there's only 2 of these things on here, or maybe 3, maybe 4. 2 eggs have some hints about Spider-Man. As far as we know right now, Spider-Man is not in the Avengers Doomsday. But if he was to be in Avengers Doomsday, maybe Tom Holland's Spider-Man egg is there on the right, and maybe the one with the 3 spiders is referring to 3 different Spider-Mans, Toby, Tom, and Andrew. So maybe the 3 Spider-Man in the multiverse stuff will return for Avengers Doomsday. Will Sony let that happen? I doubt it, but maybe, who knows? But that was a cute little Easter post. But also last week there was some Getty's images, and if you guys know from like Google Images or whatever, Getty Images are sometimes very spoilery, but also like they have that stupid trademark stamp on them for whatever reason. I don't even know why, but anybody that doesn't want to know, Daredevil Born Again Season 3 spoilers. Skip ahead towards the end of this video. I'll try to talk about this brief, but I'm jumping into some Season 3 spoilers. And I wasn't going to talk about this, but it seems everybody else on Twitter and social medias were talking about this. So if anybody saw this information as well and wanted to chat about it, I find it interesting. I also find it kind of dumb, you know, like why be filming out in New York if you know spoilers like this are going to get released, and you're doing this as Season 2's coming out. So as far as Season 2 Episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again, there is no Defenders in Daredevil at the moment. Even Jessica Jones, who is confirmed for Season 2, hasn't been in the show yet through 3 episodes. I'm assuming she shows up in Episode 4 coming out tomorrow, but still, there has been no Defenders in Daredevil Born Again. But, just confirmed the other day, Mike Coulter and, I don't know the actor's name, I'm so sorry, Danny Rand, friggin' Iron Fist, and Luke Cage here, they both were caught on set by Getty's Images the other day, and you can see Jessica Jones in the front here. She's got a little drink in her hand, but she's staring directly into this paparazzi guy's camera like, oh, you're about to get some shit, but don't get my bad side. I love Jessica Jones. And I love that like everyone kind of changes outfits, and Jessica Jones just always has the same jeans, the same shirt, the same leather boots, the same leather jacket. And like me and my buddy were joking when we were watching Defenders, and like even she says it in the show. She's like, I haven't showered in a week. And I was like, oh, you know that outfit she's wearing is ripe. But in this background image of Jessica Jones here, you can see Danny Rand and Luke Cage there, Mike Coulter, and there is a better image of the 2 of them and Danny Rand there and a bunch of people, so they know that, you know, paparazzi's getting images of this. But either way, we got Iron Fist there, and they're both kind of wearing these like hoods to protect them from the paparazzi, but it's not really working, you know. And even Luke Cage, you know, like he's got his head down like, don't look at me. But you can peep through that jacket there, and it looks like he's got like a comic book accurate version of Luke Cage. And like, I don't know, I feel like I have this image in my head of Luke Cage wearing that particular suit from the comics, but also then this image is popped up of him at the end of the Luke Cage series, I believe, and he's like a club owner now, and you know, he's got his suit and there's a Biggie poster or, you know, picture on the wall behind him with the crown on his head. Shout out Biggie. Oh, love it when they call me Big Papa. But, you know, with these Getty's leaked images, it is now confirmed that the Defenders will be back together for Season 3 of Daredevil. And it's also confirmed that Matt and Kingpin have beards for the start of Season 3 for Daredevil, which is interesting. But also, I'm assuming that Season 3 of Daredevil Born Again will be set after Doomsday, or maybe set after Spider-Man Brand New Day at the very least. And maybe at the end of season 2 here, maybe Fisk is in prison, maybe Matt's on the run still, I don't know. But Matt seems like he's going to have an even thicker beard than he has at the moment in season 2. And Fisk, we've never seen with a beard, so it seems Fisk might be growing a beard as well. Interesting. I thought that was very interesting. I was like, what's going on in season 3? Defender's back? What's going on? Anyone got, any speculation or predictions for what might happen at the end of season 2 and maybe in season 3? I'd love to hear those down in the comment section below, or message them to me on my other social medias. Links for those down in the description below. But just to slide into the last topics of today, and if you guys know from the channel, we've been unboxing quite a bit of Hot Toys figures lately over the last year or two, and we have currently passed 100 figures on the channel. We are now up to 102 and 103 last week with Daredevil and She-Hulk getting unboxed. So if you missed those unboxings, or you missed the 101 figure collection tour that came out a couple of weeks ago, go check that out for me too. It's like an hour plus video. I know it's long, but go check that out for me. Make sure you guys watch it from beginning to end, and that really will support the channel hugely. But they announced from Hot Toys just the other day, and they were teasing it with this first image of Daredevil Born Again, the black suit is coming soon, and I was like, not soon enough. When can I pre-order this thing? I am happy to announce that the figure has dropped on HotToys.com, and you can pre-order it now. I'd go quickly though, because they might sell out quick. And the suit itself, with all these blogger photos now from the website, looks so good. The black with a little bit of red peeking through on the mask, and then you got shots with like the red glowing from the backdrop. You can see the base he's standing on, it says Daredevil up front. He's got the clubs in his hand. It looks like he's got 2 clubs at once in his hand. That's maybe a new accessory. That hasn't happened with the other Daredevil figures, but feels like something he might do. But yeah, he's got the wired baton there. You can see a more aggressive gritting teeth, face sculpt. That's always a nice touch. I love when they do that. But they also have a more upgraded Matt Murdock head sculpt with the red glasses still, but with more of a beard, right? Because the season 1 suit, he'll have a little bit of a beard, but it's more like stubble, where season 2 he's starting to grow it further, and then season 3 it's like thick, but I like that Daredevil is like, can you name another hero that has a beard? I mean, maybe Thor. But even like some early Thor, I remember him not having a beard, so like at a certain point he grows it. But like, yeah, I was just looking around back there, not a whole lot of beards, I mean, John Wick maybe. But Hugh Jackman, not a lot of beards in the collection though. So I can't wait to add Matt with his beard, and even like the She-Hulk suit that I unboxed last week came with a Matt Murdock head sculpt, but it's a much more stubbly beard. It's not as thick, so can't wait to have now a bearded, black suited Daredevil. But then we also got images here of the themed magnetic diorama base, which I love that the base is magnetic and that we won't need a crotch grabber or a flight pole. But also, I don't know, I have like 1 or 2 magnetic bases and they work, but I don't know, maybe throw in a crotch grabber as well. But the Daredevil up front looks pretty good. It looks like he's on like red brick, maybe a little bit of the sidewalk, maybe a little bit of the New York streets with potholes and puddles and oil spills and whatnot. But also a sewer cover that might be undersized, but in the center it says DD on it for the Daredevil, obviously. That's a nice little touch. I liked that. But then you can also see that they have the interchangeable lower faceplates with the more stoic look, and then the aggressive angry look, and the gritted teeth look. Those teeth look really good. Most of the time I'm not that impressed with the teeth. I'm always like, the dentures feel like they're off in person. But that right there looks like a real dude's teeth. You know what I mean? But the mask with the red lenses and then the little bit of red suit peeking through the black suit, I really think that's a nice touch. But then you can see this picture here with all the different accessories, newly painted body. You got the weapons, you got the big baton, you got the wired baton, showing off a little bit of his legs, the magnetic base. It comes with a separate cowl for him to be able to hold the cowl when the mask is off, which is a nice touch as well. That was something I said should have been included with the She-Hulk Daredevil. But then somebody got an image of this thing in person, right? So these are all just pictures on the website, which, you know, I trust at a certain point, but I also want to see what it looks like through a camera phone, you know, right in front of me, you know? And they had this on display somewhere over in Hong Kong, probably. And, you know, you can see him with the wired baton in one hand with, like, holding the loose rope, and then he's got it flowing around his back, and he's holding it with his other hand. The red DD logo on his chest looks really good. Maybe the figure's proportions around the waist looks a little too skinny, but I like the Matt Murdock head sculpt. I like the face plates. I like the accessories. I like that there's a mask that I think it's 2 different swap out masks. So you can have one that's more black, and then you can have one that's black with the battle damage red peeling off, which I really like. But I also wonder if maybe we'll do another version of this black suit, and it will be fully battle damaged, and it will have much more red showing and damage coming through, and maybe bloody Matt Murdock head sculpt. Who knows? I doubt it, but I think we definitely need some more figures from the Daredevil series. We need a Kingpin. I need like an Echo. I need like a Swordsman. I need a Bullseye. You know, those are definitely characters I would like to see through Hot Toys, you know, and please give us more Daredevil figures for sure. And as Daredevil Born Again Season 3 comes out, I'm sure he'll have another new suit, and I'm sure they'll have another figure coming out. I cannot wait. But also, Hot Toys, as you're making figures, just because this popped in my head, make a friggin' Duncan the Tall from Game of Thrones. I don't know if you guys can do that, or if you can get the Game of Thrones HBO license, but go for it. But just to end out today's show, there is 5 different TV shows coming out this week with new episodes. And if you guys didn't go check out Season 1 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, this is like a Godzilla, King Kong, Apple TV Plus show with both of the Russells, Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell, playing a older and younger version of Colonel or something, Captain Leland Shaw. And I have yet to dive into Season 2, but I did a full season breakdown of Season 1 that is currently up on the channel that initially wasn't getting views, but now it's up to like 30 something views, which like 30 people that watched that season breakdown, I can get with that, you know, hour and a half long video almost, you know. So I appreciate the commitment for anybody that watched that breakdown and that's enjoying the show. And if you guys want to see me break down Season 2, let me know. Do you want to see me do like episodes 1 to 5 and then 6 to 10? Or do you want to see a full season breakdown again? I'll do whatever you guys want. But I think I will be covering Monarch Legacy of the Monsters again coming very soon. And there will be a chunkier breakdown of multiple episodes coming out on the channel. And like I said throughout the video, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 4 comes out tomorrow with that episode titled The Gloves Are Off. So maybe we'll see Mayor Fisk in a boxing match, I think. But breakdowns for Daredevil, the Netflix series, all the way to Born Again Season 1, all of those breakdowns are on the channel. There's a recap video of Season 1 also out, and then breakdowns for the first 3 episodes of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 are already out on the channel, and those videos will be coming out Wednesday after these episodes drop on Disney Plus Tuesday night, so stay tuned Wednesday. At some point I'll have that video out for you guys breaking down Daredevil Born Again, and that's been a lot of fun to break down that show. I'm really loving Daredevil, and Foggy still lives. I'm sticking to it. But like I also mentioned in today's video, MAUL Shadow Lore dropped today, so I'm going to try and get out a breakdown of episode 1 and 2 of that show for you guys coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And then also this week, The Boys Season 5, I think, comes back and airs its episodes for Season 5. And I think just maybe 1, and then we'll have 10 weeks of The Boys Season 5. So I think it's time. I am going to go back and do season breakdown recaps of Season 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Boys, and those will be in their own individual videos. And yeah, that show's wild and raunchy, but I remember when Season 4 came out, I asked, you know, in a poll on the community tab, what show would you guys like to see me cover? And unanimously people were like, cover The Boys, you know. So I think I shall cover The Boys once that season starts coming out as well, but there's a lot of stuff to cover right now, and I'm also more of a movie guy, if you guys know me, so I'm trying to watch movies, but there's so much TV out right now that I've been falling behind on movies, so, you know, I'm trying my best, y'all, but there's a lot coming out right now, and, you know, the last show that I've been kind of catching up on, because I've been trying to, like, watch season 5 or season 4 now that it's airing of Invincible, and if you guys haven't seen Invincible, this is over on Amazon Prime, and this show is absolutely ridiculous. Omni-Man, Invincible, and like, it's great, but it's raunchy, but it's also like really good. Like, it's got heart, but it's also got like so much violence, but like it's what you want, you know what I mean? It's almost The Boys-esque if it was animated, you know what I mean? But it's also not like the Avengers. It's like about this son and his father, and that's really the whole story. It's like following these two guys. It's not necessarily about the Justice League or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I like Invincible quite a bit, and just going through season 1, I'm like, dude, this show is unbelievable, and there's so much stuff that I didn't remember, and like, I had watched it, but it's probably been 5 years since I've seen season 1, you know, so I'm rewatching it, I'm like, God, there's some really good stuff in here, so I think I'm gonna do and commit to a full Invincible series breakdown, and I'm gonna do each season, I think, as season chunky breakdowns, but also if you'd like to see just like individual episodes and go through it that way, I wouldn't mind doing that. That's kind of how I prefer to break things down, and it's much more fun that way, watching one episode and then breaking out the next episode the next week, and then having a week to talk about it, you know what I mean? Like Daredevil Born Again currently, you know, so I'm having so much fun with that. But comment below all your thoughts about the things we talked about today down in the comment section below, or you can send them to my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. Once again, my name's Big Cam, 2 G's in that big, anywhere, and you can find me. And if you've made it this far and you would like to support the channel further, hit that share button, send this to a friend, or even just hit share, copy link, that goes a long way. But the best ways to support the channel are liking this video, commenting down below, subscribing if you haven't done that yet, it really helps the channel, and hitting that bell so you don't miss next week's Comically Boston Weekly Nerdy News coming out every Monday. Once again, my name's Big Cam, and I'll see you gorgeous folks in the next one. Peace.